How you doing, everybody? I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to be here. Winter's near drawing to an end, so I've now got some time, a break in the weather to do some videos. Behind me here we've got the new Honda 2025 GB350S, and in this video we're going to be taking a good look at it. I'm going to go all the way around. I'll pinpoint the features and the specification. I hope you'll get the best out of this video possible, and reward me with a like, and of course leave a comment as well. And if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing. My subscriber count needs a bit of attention, so if you wouldn't mind clicking that red button there, you'll certainly help the channel along. Honda have a great selection of motorcycles, particularly entry level from that perspective. So from pricing, let's say around the £5,000 mark, you've got a various selection of 125s that you can definitely choose from. Obviously they've got all kinds of different versions, and it's nice to get a bit of variety. However, once you're done with the 125s, you have to jump up to 500s, and then you're looking at Rebel 500, Hornet 500, and of course the NX 500, something in that sort of range. However, there's nothing sort of in between, and what's nice about what Honda have done here is they've introduced a really attractive looking bike, a really good price, and they've got it in that, still within that sort of entry level. For those who don't want to go 500, but the engine's a little bit bigger than 125s, it has a little bit more punch to it, and the bike is going to do the majority of what you require within that sort of price range. So I'm looking forward to getting in to go and have a look a bit more around the bike, so join me along as we explore it. Right, looking at the front here, we've got 41mm telescopic front forks, and they've matched it well with the gaiters here. So I think the gaiters add to the actual overall styling of the bike as well. Mudguard, 19-inch wheel on the front, which I think's quite nice. Nice big rubber. 310mm disc on the front, which I think's fantastic. That level, that size disc, I think it's really great to see that. It's more than adequate for this size motorcycle, and that's ABS, and there's also for the rear there you've got Honda's selectable torque control as well. The suspension travel is 106mm on the front, and you've got 120mm on the back. Looking at the rear of the bike, we've got a 17-inch wheel on the back, twin shocks as standard. I think they look really well against the bike as well, so obviously from a design perspective they've integrated it and they've color coded it accordingly. 240mm brake disc at the back with the single caliper. Suspension travel is 120mm on the back. That's another thing though. So I think they've got 106 on the front, 120 on the back. I think that is pretty fair from a suspension travel on something as an entry-level bike as this. Honda have equipped the bike exceptionally well with a LED lighting system. So we've got LED headlamp, and then also you've got the daytime running light, which is just these little sections up here. Looks very nice. It's very nicely put together, very attractive looking, and again they've gone with the round classic retro headlamp. LED indicators, obviously 2 on the front and 2 on the back as well. Looking at the rear of the bike, we've got an LED tail light, and then we've got the 2 LED indicators as well. Oh, we're going to have a look at the engine now. 348cc, it's an air-cooled engine, 4-stroke, develops 15.5 kilowatts. I'll put the BHP on screen, and 29 newton meters. 5-speed gearbox with that, with an assisted slipper clutch. So very well, you know, package-wise, they've really thought that through, and I think they've mated it quite well with relation to gearbox and the assisted slipper clutch. Fuel consumption on this is going to be about 2.5 litres per 100. Again, I think they're going to do really well with that. Fuel tank, a 15-litre fuel tank capacity, which I think is fantastic for that size, for the size motorcycle. So you can expect good range on something like this. Another couple of things to note is the ground clearance is 168mm, and the curb weight is 178 kilograms. Which I don't think they've done too bad on considering the size bike and the features that they've added, because obviously the more features you add to a motorcycle, the more heavier it's going to be. But essentially what I think they've done here is they've really offered a great package, put some niceties that everybody's looking for, and kept the price relatively attractive. Here are some noticeable standard features of this bike. ABS, Honda selectable torque control, 15-litre fuel tank capacity, 310mm front disc, LED lighting all round, LED indicators front and back, and Honda's emergency stop system where the rear indicators will flash, warning others. Right, let's get the bike started and see how she sounds. Well, it's time for us to have a look at the handlebar setup, and then we're also going to have a look at the actual screen that you get with the bike. First of all, very attractive handlebars. We got Honda logo in the middle, and we got these beautiful chrome mirrors, very retro. I love it. On this side here, we've got start, we've got our hazard lights. On this side, we've got hooter, indicators, and then of course we got our main lights, dip beam, and so on, all down on that side. They've kept the controls very straightforward. There's no fancy wizardry here. There's no Bluetooth connection. There's no wheels to scroll through. There's no additional screens. They really have kept it pretty straightforward. And we're going to move on to the center screen. It's time for us to have a look at the seating position. Seat height is 800mm on the bike, which I don't think is too tall at all. I've got it on the side stand at the moment, so let's get on. The lean over, no problem at all, straightforward. I can obviously touch the ground, I've got no issues here. This is me standing up, me sitting down, reaching over to the handlebars, fairly comfortable. Everything's accessible, clutch brake, no issue. Let's do the knee test, the knees up here. Again, I don't think that's too bad. It certainly feels okay. I wouldn't be stressing too much about it. I mean, obviously our long-term test will give you the desired feedback you want to know in relation to how comfortable the bike is on your knees, but I think this is okay. Right, now we come to the question is, how much is this bike going to set you back? Obviously, Irish pricing, €5,699, 2025 pricing, which I think is really good. You know, they're bringing out a new Honda, there's a new 125 Honda Cub coming out. I think price range can be around £5 for that. So for an extra €700, you're going to get this magnificent machine. There are two packs available for this bike. You've got a style pack and a travel pack, and here they are in more detail. The two packs available are as follows. The style pack, which includes the following: single seat cowl, headlight cowl, grip ends, side tank pads, engine upper pipes, and the fog light attachments and fog light. The travel pack includes the following: saddlebags, saddlebag supports, knuckle guards, and a long travel visor. I just wanted to put a competitor out there for you guys to consider. The Royal Enfield Hunter 350. Now the reason why I put this in there is I think without a doubt the Honda are going to be gunning for this market. The reason why is the similarly priced. The Royal Enfield's about €300 more expensive. Similarly spec'd, the bike specs are very similar. The Honda has slightly more power, bigger fuel tank. The suspension's similar. The brakes are similar on it. You got 19-inch wheel on the front for the Honda, 17s on the Royal Enfield. But I think that's going to be a market that they're very keen to capitalize on. And of course, we all know Honda's outstanding quality, excellent dealer network. In Ireland, unfortunately, there's only a few Royal Enfield dealerships. So, you know, you have got that greater ability with the Honda. Accessories are big on the Honda as well. There are limited accessories for the Royal Enfield, but you can still customize it. But definitely a bike that is going to be competing with the GB350. Right, now it's time for my verdict. Having experienced the bike, I must admit the first thing that blew me away was the look. Looks at everything with motorcycles, from anything that we buy, from watches to clothing to cars. They're emotional buys, and likewise motorcycles are emotional buys, and the bike has to have that look about it. And I love the retro characteristics that they've added in with this bike. So you're going to get a modern bike but with those retro characteristics that I've just pointed out there. Likewise with the tank, the seat, the wing mirrors there, and of course the headlight as well, but that round headlight, something we've always seen, and even the gaiters as well, that sort of classic retro look. But they're going to do really well with this bike. Entry-level pricing's really good for what you get. They've packaged it really well. They're giving you a lot of features that are mentioned in, so it's nice to see that on an entry-level motorcycle. They tend to get overlooked. You know, if you look at the extras list on some of the bigger bikes, you'll always have a good selection. So it's really nice to see the entry-level bike with those two options. If you want to, you can spec them out with fog lamps. You can go with saddlebags, the screens. You can go the tall screen, the smaller screens, the cowls. Overall, they've really thought this bike through, and I think it's going to be around for a very long time. So hence why they've gone with those options. But I think they're going to do really well. And if you're considering it, check out the nearest your nearest Honda garage, whether it's in Ireland or whether it's international. Specs could be slightly different though, so be sure to check them out. Go and experience the bike for yourself, and of course the decision will be up to you. But I'm very impressed with what I see here, and hopefully you are too. Special thanks to Tyke and his team here at Morans Bike Shop behind me. They've made the bike available for review. So if you're looking for a new Honda motorcycle, or any Honda motorcycle for that matter, be sure to contact them here in Drumshanbo in County Leitrim for all your Honda requirements. That's it for this video. Thanks so very much. I hope you've got all the information you needed out of it, and you'll reward me with a like if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below if there's any questions. I'll obviously try to help you out as best I can. Guys, thanks so very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.